Um, so I shared the what do we call this thing that we are going to go through in the group. I mean, on Canvas. So I'm assuming that probably we were able to go through. However, actually today we are supposed to do the content for week two, but because we couldn't finish, I want to use between now and 11 o'clock to finish this, and then we start with today's content. Then when I'm done, I would I'm going to give a particular task that we will do, I mean, within the week. I'm actually going to probably upload that maybe right after today's class. And then tomorrow, once we're able to also finish the week two, there'll be another task for us. Then, yeah. So after every week, we are going to get a mini project or a mini task for us to work on just to enhance our understanding. I hope that is fine. Yeah, so and then I'm recording the section too, so I'm going to upload the section on the canvas as well, so that you can also go through it again. Hope that is fine. Yeah,
Hello.
so hello. Please, if you want to talk, kindly use your hand so that it will be easy for me.
Yes, sir. Please, so last week we given an exercise.
No, I didn't give any exercise.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So if you are here and you are not on Canvas, kindly register so that whatever thing or any information related to these exercises will be shared on that platform. Okay, so last week we looked at lists where um, we said that because before we were coming to a list, we had looked at how we can assign variables. Okay, so in this particular example, we have a list of fruits stored in the variable fruits. So if you look at the type, using the type function, you're able to know that this is a list. And I mentioned that a list, when you want to define a list in Python, you start with the square brackets. And then we mentioned the indexing, where I said the indexing starts with zero. So in this one, we have 0, 1, 2, 3, which is the apple is 0, orange is 1, tomato is 2, and banana is 3. Even though there are 4 elements in this, but the indexing ends at 3. So it is equals to n minus 1. I remember I mentioned that. So we are moving on to um, this one. So lists are mutable. Okay, so when we say something is mutable in Python, it means we can change it or we can actually modify the list. So in this example, where we said fruits, so fruit index 2 is equal to apricots, you get me? So I'm just saying that what I'm trying to say is I'm changing the index to a different fruit. You get it? So once I do that, I am able to replace the original item in there. And then we are going to look at this in Colab. We are going to run it. I just want to explain. And when to talk about append is adding onto the item. You get it? And then remove is removing from. We have pop and other ones too. So in this case, when I say fruit.append and then I bring what I want to add, it goes so it's more like I'm adding this particular item to the list of fruits. I hope you understand. And then when it comes to remove, and I specify the particular item, and then it means that I want to remove this particular item, in this case, orange, from the list. So when I run the fruits again, I would see that orange is not part again. So let's look at this in Colab. Let me share. I think let me share my entire screen so it will be easier for me to switch. Um, um, okay, so I can hold and share multiple screens. So I can do this one and try. Okay. So can you see my collab? Please,
No,
I'm
please.
sharing the collab. Can you see it?
No, please.
Okay.
I can see. Okay.
Oh, okay. But can you see it now?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay. So in the example that we mentioned, I mentioned that if I want to say replace an item, let's say 2 is equal to maybe let me check which fruit was it. Yeah. So equals to yes, that fruits or any fruit at all. So let's say apricots. Okay. And I come and print fruits. Sorry, I need to run this first because I mean this. Okay, now I'm going to run this. So now we can see that over here it was what? Mango, right? But now when I replaced it, it has turned to what? Apricot. So basically I'm telling it that replace the index 2 with this item. So now if I continue to say fruits dot append, okay, so fruit dot append and then this is line, okay. As I mentioned, what I am saying here is that I want to add line to the list of fruits. So now when I run this, so now this is the first one. Let me move this to a different so that it doesn't confuse us. So the append is to add to. I hope you understand. So now I have added onto. Do you know that this has repeated? You know, when I initially ran it, it was stored. I hope you understand. That is why you even do it in this. So what I need to do is let me write fruits dot remove over here. Okay. And then we'll look at the remove again. This thing is stored on coin. I'm coming. Okay. So now fruits that append and then I'm adding this. So I've added line to the list of fruits. I hope you can see it. So now, how do I get the index of line? Who can tell me? If I want to print only line, how do I get the index of line? Who can tell me how do I get the index of line? Hello? Okay. I need to be fast, so let me do it. So line will be index 4. Okay. So I come and print fruits. So, comment. So you can see that this is line. Now we are looking at the next one, which is remove. So now, assuming you remember that you are supposed to remove a particular item, okay, from the list, you can just use the remove function, and then you mention the item, let's say banana, okay, and then print fruits. So once you run this, you see that banana is not part of the list again. Please, I hope this is clear. Let me move on. Okay, so now we are looking at range. So a function that generates a sequence of numbers as a list. So instead of me listing 1 to 10, I can give a range. And always, as I said, in Python, the indexing starts from 0 unless you specify. You get it? So when I come here, so in this example, for instance, so nums is equals to a list of range of 10. So when I print it, it's going to give me 0 to 1, I mean 0 to 9, because the indexing starts from 0. And over here, the second example is saying that I want a range of numbers from 0 to 100 in the step size of 5, so multiples of 5. You get it? So let's look at this. So the first one, I'm saying so nums is equal to list range of 10. Okay. So what I'm basically saying is that I want 1 to 10, but in Python, as I mentioned, the index starts from 0. So it's going to start from 0, 1, 2, 3. So actually the items within this list are 10. And then I can also see in the second one, let's say nums is equal to list range, let's say 0, 100 in a step size or multiples of 5. You get it? So assuming I start from 5, it's going to start from 5. I hope you can see it. So the index automatically starts from 0 unless specified. Okay? Please, do you have any question?
Yeah.
Please, who has any question? So, question. Now, I want us to look at something. Slicing. So slicing it means that we want to obtain a particular set of a subset element from a data structure. So in the nums example that we used, so we are going to print nums 1 to 5 in a step size of 2. Okay. And then we print nums. So the interpretation is get item starting from 1. So 1 is the starting point through to 5, which is the end point. The last is not always included with a step size of 2. So with this one, we are just saying that we want to print items starting from 1 to 5. As I mentioned, the indexing is always n-1. So basically 5 is not going to be part. But we want step sizes of 2. I hope you understand. Let's look at this. Assuming so over here, let me add a code here. So we want to say print. Okay, so this one, basically what we're going to do is going to start from 2 and end at 5. But once I bring the step size, okay, of 2 or multiples of 2 or 2 steps ahead, this is how it's going to be. It will start from 1. Remember, 5 is not going to be. So it is starting from 1 here. Then we jump over this and then move here. Okay. So this is the second step. 5 is not included. If not, 5 would have been the next thing. I don't know whether you understand what I'm trying to explain. Do you understand?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. So I don't know why people are still not here. Can someone type in the group that they should join the breakout rooms? Because I'm sure once it's open, we all get notification, right?
Yes, we get a notification to join.
Yeah, so someone should kindly type in the group, the faith group actually, to say that we've started the class like 10 minutes ago. So they should join. Okay. So assume over here, back to this. I want to see the last item. Maybe it's too long a list. I just want to see the last item. What I would do is I would just say that friends, maybe nuns, I'll come here just -1. Okay. And then it's going to give me the last item, which is 9. And then also I can also do this. Maybe this. So this one, what it means is that I didn't mention any number in the beginning. I didn't mention any number in the middle or in the end. I only specify the step size. So for me to do this, you remember you've already defined the range here. And now what I'm saying is, yes, since I didn't define anything in the beginning, it's going to automatically start from 0. And since I didn't specify anything where it should end, it's automatically going to consider the last digit. However, I've mentioned that it should give me a step size of 2. So it's actually going to start from 0. It will jump 1 and give me 2. Jumps 3 gives me 4. Jumps 5 gives me 6. Jumps 7 and gives me 8. So assuming the number was more than this, it would have done the same thing until the last digit. Please, I hope you understand.
Please.
Hello, please, are you getting confused?
No, please.
Okay, so now immutability, as I mentioned, lists are mutable. Immutable objects cannot be changed after creation. So we are going to look at something called tuples. Tuples in Python are not immutable, or they can be changed. Once you create a tuple, you can't add on to it. So what we do is, in the list, we try to do append. So now we are going to do a tuple. So a tuple starts with, the difference between that and list is, list starts with square bracket, tuple starts with just, this is a normal bracket, right? So let's come here again and define our fruits. So over here, let me just go up and copy this fruits and bring it here. However, I'm going to change this. Put it in this. However, let me do this. Okay. And then let me print fruits. And then let me check the type for fruits. Okay. So we can see that the class type is what? Tuple. Okay. So as we said, tuples are immutable. So let me try and do this and see if it will work out. I'm trying to add on to tuples. You can see the error. Tuple object has no attribute to append. I mean, it can't work. But when we did it here, it worked. You get it? That is why we say once you create a tuple, it can be changed. Please, do you understand why? Do you understand mutability and immutability? Do you understand?
Yes, please.
No, please. I just don't.
Yeah. To go back. I'm sorry. But then what basically I'm talking about is when we say um mutable and immutable objects, it's basically about um things that can change and things that cannot change. We recap the lists, okay, and then we mentioned that lists are mutable. So for lists we can change. And then but for tuples we cannot change. That was what we were looking at. Daniel, kindly let me know.
So my question is, how would you know that this is a tuple?
Yeah, okay, good question. So first thing, if you don't know, first one is I mentioned tuple starts with this normal bracket, okay? But if you are still confused, you can do this. The type, you can check for the type of whatever object or whatever variable. I hope you understand.
Yes, please.
So with that, you should be able to know whatever you are working with. Okay.
Okay,
So
please.
I mentioned in the group that once it's time, once the breakout rooms are assigned, we should just join without waiting. Because if not, we may not be able to finish what we expected to cover. That is why I said I wouldn't be able to go back. Because actually we were supposed to finish this last week. Okay, so pardon me. Let me run through this in the next 15 minutes so we can start with this, what we're supposed to do. So we are looking at dictionaries. So basically it's the same thing about restoring data, but however, in dictionary, we have something called key and values. Okay, so we use keys to access the values instead of indexing them. So assuming in list, for instance, if I want to access this as what do we call where is it? For instance, over here, after we printed the fruits, I had to index for me to know the value there or the item there. But in dictionary, we have key and values. So the key holds the values. Okay. So let's look at how it is. So for instance, when we define something, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, these are the values. So similarly, so let's say we have table A and table B. They are matched. So when I want to know, so Monday, the value here, the data stored in Monday is this. Tuesday, the data stored there is that. Wednesday, that. So the keys comes first and the values continue. And then each value is mapped to a unique key. It can be double. So everyone has one. And then they are separated by a column. Okay. So the key, so for instance, this one, okay, how the dictionary is key one, value one. So key one, column, value one, then comma, key two, column, value two, comma, key three, column, value three, and so on and so forth. Do you get it? So looking at this, so days of the week, maybe we can use Ghanaians, right? So we can say we can use the Ghanaian means. So, oh, sorry, I'm not Ghanaian. I'm sorry, please. But just that in Ghana, or I'm a Ghanaian. So, for instance, or how do I do? Which example would be relatable? Let's say maybe football teams. Okay. underscore teams. So now I'm going to mention each player, a particular club, and then one player. Okay. And then dictionaries also, when you want to define, it has to start with a curly bracket. Okay. So let's take note of that. So let's say maybe Barcelona. Okay. So Barcelona, who is even, let's say they have Lamine Yamal. Okay. And then comma, we go to, let's see, Chelsea. They have maybe Copana. Let's see. So the Cola is even doing it for me. But Madrid, I don't want this. I don't want this. This is old. Maybe they have Mbappe. Okay. And let's say Liverpool. Liverpool, let's say they have Salah. Okay. So basically, Barcelona is the key, and the value it holds is what? Lamine Yamal. Chelsea is the key, the value it holds is Cole Palmer. Okay. So now when I print football teams, this is it. So I'm going to have what? Barcelona, Lamine, Chelsea, Cole, Madrid, Mbappe, Liverpool, Salah. And then if you want to check for the type, it is what? A dictionary. Sometimes, so this is the basic explanation for that. So keys, so let me do this here. So key is equal to, let's say, Barcelona, and then value is equal to Lamine. Okay, please, I hope you understand the key and value association in dictionary.
Somehow.
Why don't you understand, please, so I can go over it? And then, sorry, so keys are also not immutable, or they are, I mean, keys are also immutable. So it means that once you create, so keys in dictionaries are unique and they are immutable. So once you create them, it wouldn't be possible for you to change. Daniel, kindly let me know. Hello, Daniel, please, you can talk.
Hello, please. I'm saying that the things that you're teaching us, there are some
Mhm.
when quotation mark, but there are some
Mhm.
to no quotation mark. Please, my question is it too necessary to include the quotation marks? That's
So
the first.
can you give me an example
Okay,
where
please.
so that it will be clearer for me? I'm sharing
Okay, please.
my collab now, so.
Okay, please. You see the football teams. You see,
Mhm.
because you are dealing with the dictionary, the curly
Mhm.
bracket there with quotation marks, Barcelona,
Mhm.
this the column, Lamine
Mhm.
Yamal, with that one to it's in quotation marks. But
Mhm.
when it come down to, I think some others there are no quotation marks. Some
Which
others, I
one?
think
Is
they,
it this one?
I think that one too is, and I think with the fruit, I don't know if with the fruit or so. I think there were
Fruits,
no
which one?
quotation
This
mark.
one.
Eh, And even with that, the
Uh,
quotation, that one is like single.
oh, it doesn't really matter. But then,
Okay.
yeah, but overall, the reason is we are trying to um, define something. I hope you understand. Overall,
Yes, please.
why there is no quotation mark is that, I mean, the football teams is the variable, okay,
Okay. Okay, please.
that we are trying to assign this whole dictionary to. So more like we are defining something that football teams are equals to this. And two, they're in a curly bracket. So depending on how you define it, I hope you understand.
Okay, please. Yes. Thank
Yeah,
you.
so whenever you are, I mean, in Python, the quotation marks are very necessary because that
Okay.
will determine what you are doing or the kind of definition you want to give. Please, I hope that is clear.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Someone sent a message. Uh, Course Heritage, I've seen your message. As I mentioned, once the rooms are opened, automatically you get that notification. But you let's go through it. I'm recording it so you can have time to go over it. If you have any question, you can just let me know. Okay. Okay. So now, how someone will ask us, okay, so what if I've made a mistake? How do I correct it? Okay. So now that is where we bring in some of the functions like a pop and then updates. So the update is in the list, as I mentioned, we were using append and remove. So in dictionary, update is like I am adding on to, okay, just like an append in the list that we looked at. And then the purpose, you are removing it. Maybe at the end of the day, you've realized that it's not really necessary. So assume that in this football example that we are using, let me come here. So maybe I have said that, oh, I remembered I have not added, let's say, which team against should I use? Maybe I have not added, let's say, Bayern Munich, okay, or PSG. Fine. So once I do this, so PSG, Neymar. No, Neymar is not in PSG again. Which player? Which player? Maybe this guy. Dembele. You get it. So once I run this, you see that PSG will be added to this one. So let's run it and see. So once I run it, you can see Barcelona, Lamine, Chelsea, Copama, Madrid, Mato, Liverpool, Salah, and PSG Dembele. And now I say that, oh, I am not really interested. Maybe I want to remove a particular team. Okay, let me do this first before I go there. So now I have defined, let's look at this. I have defined this dictionary, and someone will be confused. What are the keys? What are the values? Even though I've mentioned that the first one is the key and the second one is the value. But for you to check for your keys, so once you do this, you're able to know all the keys here. So the keys here in this dictionary are Barcelona, Chelsea, Madrid, Liverpool, PSG. I hope that is fine. And then if you want to remove, as if you've made a mistake and you want to remove something, once you bring the pop and then you just pop the key. Once you pop the key, automatically it will be removed from the list. Okay. So now, once I remove the key, remember the reason is the key is storing the value. So I don't need to remove the value. I need to remove the key. So once I do the pop, I am going to remove everything, the value, I mean the key, including whatever is stored in it. So once I did pop Chelsea, you can see that Chelsea is no more part of the dictionary. Please, is this clear?
Yes, please.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
sets two. Let me see how far. Oh, okay. So sets two. So they are similar to lists. However, we can't slice or index sets. When we talk about slicing, it means that you can decide to start counting from a particular point to a particular point in a particular step size or a particular, should I say multiples, okay? But in sets, we can't do that. And then it can be created with the curly brackets, okay? So I can also say that you look at this example, once you define this set, once you define this set, so let's look at this. The reason why, another reason why we should bring the, so assuming I do this, x is equal to, let's say 1, 2, 3. Remember, this is a curly bracket. And I also mentioned that when we are doing dictionary, we bring curly brackets. I hope you understand. But how do I know that this is a set and this is a dictionary? For this particular one, once I run it, let me say print type X, okay? In this particular instance, they are all beginning with curly brackets, but this doesn't have a key. I hope you understand. So you can see that this is a set. Or I can equally say that equals to set. I can define the set here and bring this, once you define set, this automatically opens the normal bracket, and then in it, you can bring the square bracket and you add your list of items. This is also equals to sets, or this can also be called sets. I hope you understand the two ways of defining a set in Python. Either with this curly brackets, or you define sets and you bring or introduce your square brackets and you follow it with your list of items. Okay. So now we are going to go to what do we call? I hope before we heard about if else, like what do we call? Loops. Okay. Maybe you are running through a lot of big data, as we continue, big data and all those things. So you need to run iterations, or there is a bit of automation. So you're just saying that, okay, if let's say A is equals to B, you want this done. So the fundamental building block of a software. So now the answer, which is the condition, if you come top of your class, I will give you, let's say, 2,000 cedis, else I'll not give you anything. So the condition is, once you come top of your class, that is the condition. This is what I'm going to do. Else I'm not going to do anything. Okay. So in the example here, answer, which is the condition, then you close the program, else continue running the program. So here, the example, if x is equals to true, now, I mean, we are saying that x is equals to true. Okay, fine. So if x prints executing if, else prints executing else. Okay. What it's saying is if x prints is just saying that if x is true, print this, else print that. I hope you understand. We are going to go through examples, but I just want you to know that we are saying f is equals to true. Okay, fine. X is like how you are saying. Then print this, else print something else for me. You get it? So that is the condition. So if the first one is met, we do this. If it is not met, then I want you to do this task. Okay. We'll come to this indentation thing later. Let's look at this. I want to give an example. before we come to these loops. Someone is giving us feedback, which is not nice. Can we check? Let me see. Okay, so now a simple example. X is equals to 10. Okay. X is equal to 10. X is equal to 10. So if X is, you remember this sign, okay? So if X is divisible by 2, or yeah, once we divide X by 2 and we are going to get 0, without any remainder, then print that it is even, else it is odd. I hope you understand. So once we do this computation here and the answer is 0, then we need this output. If the answer is anything other than 0, then we need that output. Please, is this simple example clear? Hello? Do you have any question up to this point?
Yes, please.
I want to know, do you have any question up to this point? Because we are doing something different. Do you have any question up to this point?
No, please.
Okay. So the reason we say indentation matters is because over here, the reason why we are saying that the indentation matters is because over here, this one, okay, this is the thing, x is equals to 10. If x modular 2 is equal to 0, then print x is even. Now, this print is this first condition. So let me help you understand. So over here, this print is in this condition. You get it? That is why there is space here. That is why I didn't bring the print here. I hope you understand. So that is the indentation. The spaces, it really matters in Python. For you to get this space, we always use the tab key on your keyboard. Okay? Because if you bring this here, it's going to give you error. You see, indentation error. I hope you understand. So the order of execution, if this one, this is the condition. If it holds or whatever the condition is, print this, execute this one. If it doesn't hold, then else. Else is another condition. Then this particular output is also in the else. Please, you get me? So when we go back to this
Yes,
point,
please.
when you go back to this point, print x is even. That is the first condition is 0. Okay. Now, another condition is being set in this condition. So if this is equal to 0, the second condition, if x modular 5 is equal to 0, print x is divisible by 5. So in this example, x output, this one, okay, let's forget about the second one. Okay, output only when x is divisible by both 2 and 5. Anyway, that one is not really. Else this, else that. Okay, so now let's go here. Assuming maybe if, okay, you get me. So in this example, remember I have this bigger if and bigger else, okay? However, within it, let's start from here. This is the first condition. If it is 0, print even. Then I give another condition. Now, which is still within this first cascade, more like cascading, okay? So if x modular 3 is equals to 0, then print divisible by 3, else not divisible by 3. Or after everything, then the last statement is print odd. What I'm trying to explain, let me go over again, is x is equals to 10. Okay. So if we divide or modular, if 2 goes into 10 and gives us 0, print even. That it ends there. Okay. That condition has passed. Now we move on. I'm giving another condition. If now the same 10 that we are talking about, if 3 goes into 10 with a remainder 0, then we say that it is divisible by 3. If not, it is not divisible by 3. Then we now come back to this main function again about the 2, because this particular condition ends here, where I've highlighted. However, this condition runs through everything. Do you get it? So when I run this now, it is even because this is what? When 2 modular, 10 modular 2 is 0, that one we know, there wouldn't be any remainder. Once this is done, it comes to the second condition, the cascaded condition. That now, okay, this condition has been fulfilled. What is next? And we are now saying that modular 3, 10 modular 3 or whatever, is it going to give us 0? If it's not going to give us 0, then this should be the output. Please, do you get the explanation I try to give to these particular conditions?
Yes, please.
So it's like you have two different
Yes, sir.
conditions
Sir.
to be met. Do you have any question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please, you can talk. I'm listening, please.
The two edges that are below those prints, is both of them applicable to each of them?
Which one? Can you come again, please?
No, we have a print. If x is divided by 2, print even. Is that the first s here, which is print not divisible by 3, is it applicable to the first print?
It's applicable to this condition. The 3 one, you get it. Because that is, so the indentation, so
the 2s is applicable to only if s is divisible by 3 equals to 0.
this, so I couldn't hear you well, but what I heard is, so this particular print is applicable to this. This particular else and print here is still applicable to this because of the indentation. You see that this if and this else are matching, and then this if and this else are matching. I hope you can see it. However, this whole thing is inside this if and this else. So this particular one, this particular conditions, or all these conditions are applicable to this. And then this condition, and that is applicable to this. You get me? Just that we're having two different instructions in one thing. So it's like the outer and the inner. I hope you understand.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so
Sir, if maybe
I'm
in the
listening.
question,
Mhm.
if s is not equals to 2, what will it print, sir?
So assume that we make here 3. Okay, we run. Let's see what happens. It is odd. It won't run to the next one. It will terminate. Do you get it?
Okay, sir.
So this first condition is not met, so there is no need for us to move on to the next step. Basically, that is what it means. So it's basically like you are going to say, okay, go and give this to this particular woman. If you go and she is there, tell her daughter this, or give her daughter this information. If you go and the first condition is to see the woman. If she is there, then you can talk to the daughter. So now you go in one condition, you go and you don't find the woman. There is no need talking to the daughter. Basically, that is it. You get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now extend the if else block. So now we are introducing something called elif. Elif is if else plus if, which means that the previous conditions or statements must be false for the current one to be true. Okay. So in this condition, if condition 1 was true, then fine. If condition 2 was true, else neither condition 1 or condition 2 were true. So now let's look at this example. So we want to purchase. Hello, can you hear me? So now we want to. I want to use this to explain it. So now we want to purchase something. So you input your price. Okay. So now, if the current price, if the purchasing price multiplied 0.9 is less than the current price, then you say that's not good to sell your Bitcoins now. That is the first condition. Then you lose the purchase price minus the current price. Then this one. If the current price is greater than the purchase price multiplied by 1.2, then that is going to make profits. But remember that they said that once you introduce elif, it must say that the previous condition must be false. So assuming the first calculation, it is true, then the thing will not run to this block. Okay. So now let's look at something. Let me teach something real quick here too. So let's say H is equal to inputs. So the input here means that you are telling the user to, so the input here accepts something. So once I bring input, I'm telling the user to do something, okay, before a condition can be met. Okay, so now, let's say age is, let me make it this way. Let me make, so the cost is equal to, let me bring inputs. Let me say enter cost of products. Now, unit price. Okay. So enter the unit price of the product. Now, I don't know. So let me say amount sold rather. The number of sales, no amount. Number of sales. I want to bring. So the reason why I'm bringing this underscore is because it will see it as one word. You can get it. Assuming when I do this, either I type it together or I bring underscore. Once I bring space, there are two different things. It will mark it as error. So now we have a particular sales. So we know the number of sales, the number of we know the unit price, and assuming I'm coming. Sorry. We are saying, so now let's introduce. So if let's look at this example. So if the current price, let me just do something. You let me do this current price thing. I want something. This one will be, and then purchase price. Okay, so if current price, is less than purchase price multiplying 0.9, okay, then you print, let's see, loss, okay. However, if current price is greater than, let's say, purchase price times 1.2 or 1.2, you print profits. Okay, else, let's say, let me look at this one. What was the else statement? Okay, else, let's say break even. Let's say something like that. I hope you understand. So now we are saying that if the current price, we are going to enter some things. So once I give the current price and your purchase price, if I multiply it by 0.9 and it is greater than my current price, it is less than my current price. I mean greater than, so I'm reading from here. So it is greater than my current price. Sorry, less than my current price, then it's a loss. However, if my current price is greater than yours multiplied by this, then it's a profit. If not, it's a break even. So let's see how it is then you see. So let's say it is 200. That is the current price. Let's say the purchase price is, let's say, 120. I'm making a bid. What is it? Come on. I need to cast something. Which, come on. Okay, let me just make this simple. I don't want us to do this. Let me remove the roots and make it very make let's see. And saying, okay, so now let's see. My current price, okay, my current price is 200. I hope you understand. And your purchasing price is 120. Now, the if and else conditions come in. So if the current price is this times 2, okay, then it's a loss. That means if I multiply your price times 2 and it is less than my current price, I'm losing. However, if my current price is greater than your price you are giving times 3, then I'm making profits. I hope you understand. However, if not, it's a break even. So in this one, my current price is 200. Your price is 120. So if I multiply 120 by 3 is what is 360. So actually, I'm making a profit of what 160. I hope you understand. So assuming it is like 50, and then the price here. So once you enter the value, you press enter, and you are giving me, let's say, 70. Okay, it's a loss because 70 times 3 is 210, which is way in the first condition. Even 70 times 2 is 140, which is way lower than this. So that is why it's printing a loss. So do we understand this once? We've not started. Okay, so how do I do? If not, we would have to spend some few extra minutes. Is that okay? Because I just want us to I wanted to start with today's lessons, but anyway, how many do we have? This one, two, simple. So for the for loops, okay, basically what we are trying to say is that it allows you to go over or iterate or repeat over a certain amount of variables within a particular data structure. Okay, now however, we can also manipulate them. So for item and item list, we generally do something. So for instance, in the fruit example, fruit list is equals to apple, orange, tomato, banana. So for fruit in fruit list, we print the fruits and then you add the index. Okay. So basically we defined the list for our fruits, and then we just want to know for every fruit in the list that we defined, what is their index? Basically, that is what we are saying here. Do you get it? So instead of us writing index one, the fruit into bracket 0, index fruit into bracket, we just want to make it so easy for us. Please, do you get it? You can kind of go over it. If you have any question, you can let me know in the explanation, I mean in the group chats. Okay. And then so for this one, the example here, numbers is equals to a range of 10. So for num in numbers, we want to find the square and then we print num square this. So now let's try this one. So baby nums. So numbers is equal to, let's list the range. Let's say 10. Okay. Then I'm introducing the 4. So for num in numbers. Okay. What did they say here? For num in numbers, then we come to the squared. Then I will explain this, then we rush to the next one. Oh, for nums in numbers, so squared is equal to num. I hope we understand how to do squares in, what do we call, in Python, right? You introduce the double, what do we call, the double asterisk. So then we print num. Okay. So now this one is, so this is the list of numbers. Okay, you have given a range 0 to 9. And now for every number in this list or numbers, okay, we are saying that we should square them. And then now we print the square of the number. So now 0, this is the num or the number. The square is 0. 1, the square is 1. 2, the square is 4. 3, the square is 9, in that order. So that is the for loop. So for every single thing in the list, apply this condition. Okay. So it terminates as soon as the conditions or the total number of items are done. However, let's look at the while loop. The while loop, that one, it may continue to work till eternity. That is why you need to bring a breakout or a break condition, okay, or a break statement. If not, the once the condition is not, it will continue to run till eternity. So for instance, n is equals to 0, while n is less than 5, print executing loop, print while executing while loop. And now the condition is n is equals to n plus 1. Okay. Then once those conditions are met, then we say finish while loop. So basically over here for the while loop, it is going to continue to print as long as n is less than 5. I hope you understand. Do you get it? As long as n is less than 5. Once it gets to a point where n is greater than 5, it ends. So we are saying, and over here the condition is n is increasing by 1. So let's try this. So n is equals to 0. So while n is less than 5, okay, print, let's say, still working, okay. And I bring the condition, so n is, I'm defining n is this, okay. Let's execute this. So you get it. Oh, no, this is not it. So you can see, while n is less than 5, we are going to continue to print working. So remember, this is 0 index. Remember, it is starting from 0. Then index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4, index 5. It's printed finished because over here n is equals to 5, but the condition is while n is less than 5, you should do this. Please, do you understand?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay. So can you try this one? Can you run this in your Colab and let me know your feedback? This example we are seeing. Daniel, please, you can let me know. What do you want to
Okay.
say?
Okay, please. With respect to the while loop, you see the example just showed us it is less than 5, right? N is less than 5. Please, if you want to introduce a range, like let me see, give it like 1 up to maybe 60. 1 up to 60. How would you get this done, please?
If you want to introduce a ring,
Yes, please.
so you can, for the while loop, that one, I'm coming, I'm just trying to understand. Introduce a range before you execute the while loop. So you can say that n is in a range of, as you said, 1 to 60, you define the range. And you can say that while n is less than, let's say, 60, do this. So it is going to run through it till that particular condition is met. I hope you
Okay, please.
understand.
Okay, please.
So you can introduce, so just that you need to define your scope before executing the while loop.
Okay, please.
Please, have you been able to try this on our screen? What was our feedback? Do we all agree that maybe we'll spend like extra 10 minutes just so we can go through some things for this week? I hope you agree to that. Oh, okay, let me move on. I don't know. So this is going to be that feedback. So now this is the final thing, and then we are done for this week. I'm actually going to talk about pandas. So this will lead into that. I want to talk about pandas today. So this is the last thing we're actually looking at in our previous week. So how we can import files. So let's do that quickly. So we are actually now beginning to, these are the basics. So now we're actually now going to apply these things in our work. Basically, we are going to work with data. So I'm going to do this, but I'm going to explain the pandas later once we start today's work. So import pandas as PD. Okay. Now let me upload the dummy data. So in Colab, if you want to upload, you click here, file, the file icon, and you come here to the upload to storage. And sorry, screen my screen. Where am I? Okay. I'm uploading. I thought this thing is uploading. Okay, so we have here. Okay, so this is our data set now. I need to, oh, so now DF means data frame, okay? And you need to know the extension of your file, if it is CSV or Excel. So now looking at the file that I give, this thing is looking at the file, you can see it is .csv. So now I can say that the data frame, okay, is equals to, you come here, PD. Remember, instead of us typing everything with pandas, we are importing pandas as alias or known as PD. So PD dot read underscore CSV. If it is an Excel file, underscore Excel. Okay. Read, so PD dot read underscore CSV. But in that, I will just come here, okay, and copy the file path. But so in whether you are not working in Colab or not, you need to copy the file path. Okay. So I'll come and copy the file path, just or the location of the file, where Python can locate the file on my desktop, and I paste it here. So you come here, you click on the file, the three dots, this comes, you copy the path. Okay, and then now print df. Okay, I hope you understand. So the df here is data frame. Please, Daniel, you can let me know. Df is data frame. Yeah, please, yeah, Daniel, please, you can let me know. Hello, Daniel, please, you raised your hand. Okay, please, do you understand this? This is how you read the file. The reading means you just want to know the content in the file. Do you understand?
Please, sir.
Yes, please, I'm listening.
Please, sorry, my mic was muted. Sorry, please. And please, the work you gave us, you said n equals 0, while n is less than 5. Print still working. And then n equals n plus 1, print finished. It came, but it came as like upload CVS file also. But now it has turned to error, syntax error.
No, we can look at that. Maybe after the class, you can put your screenshots in there, and tomorrow I'll look at this. Okay.
Yes, please. Okay, please.
Okay. Michael.
Yes, was asking,
Okay.
sorry, where you imported the file.
Mm-hmm.
Was it like from downloads? I think you were
Okay, so that one, it depends on how your laptop is. Basically, what I wanted you to know is when you click on this icon here, okay, you come to, you click on up this one, and then you locate wherever the file is on your desktop, and you bring it here. Once you bring it here, then if you want to read the file, you click on these three dots, you copy the path, and then with this same code, you copy the path and you put it here. Please, I hope you understand. So it just
Yeah.
depends on where the file is located on your laptop.
Sir,
Okay.
what is the essence of copying the part, sir?
So the essence of copying the path is for Python to know where whatever file you want to read is located. Do you get it? So basically, I want to read this. I want you to read this file from maybe maybe my computer, whatever. So if you are doing it on your laptop and you are not running it on what it is, or if you are doing it on your laptop, assuming, and the file is here, you click here and you copy. So this is the path. You copy the path and you paste. But over here, it's not going to work because we are working online. I hope you understand. But assuming you are working on an IDE, like let's say Visual Studio or something. I don't know whether I even have some Visual Studio. No, this one doesn't have something like that. But assuming it was in Visual Studio, that one you just need to copy the path directly. I hope I don't know whether it's but we are working in Google Colab.
So,
So for Google Colab, once you upload your data on Google Colab, you just click on the three dots and you come here, copy path. You copy the path and you paste it here. Is that okay?
yeah. So is it any file we are talking about, or is a specific file we are looking for?
So okay. Basically, we are doing a CSV or Excel file. Let me check if I can get an Excel file on my laptop coming. Wow, since I will be Excel files. Coming, let's go. Sorry, coming. Oh, let's go. Yeah, this is an Excel file. Okay, so if it is an Excel file, this file is big. I'm wondering if it's going to read it. Maybe I'll come here, import, let me copy and paste this to here. Import pandas as PD. However, over here, I'll change it to, instead of CSV, Excel extension is .xlx. You get it, SX, you get me? If it is CSV, it's .csv. So I'll change it to, this is an Excel file. Okay, and I'll come here, copy the path, and come and replace it here. Okay. Okay, and I'll run. So this is it. So these are the contents. Okay, it's we're going to use some because it's not a really structured file. I hope you understand. Wisdom.
Yes, sir. Please, I wanted to ask, the files we have imported, let's say we are done working with it today and we close the Google Colab. If tomorrow I should open it again, am I going to have the files still there?
No, it wouldn't be saved. So what you do is, assuming, coming. Let me show you something. All that you need to do is just bring the files again. Okay. So assuming with this one, I'm opening a code. No, I don't want this. If not, I should have opened a new whatever. So assuming I've even called this thing myself. This one self is here. Let me collapse. Fix, Michael, you can talk, please.
The last line after the df, is it hash df, is a data frame. Do we need
Yeah,
to?
I'm just giving a comment. You remember if you were here last week, we mentioned that
You
how
had
to
comments.
comment. Yes. I'm just defining what DF is. So with wisdom, the example I mean what you asked about. So assuming you've worked on a file like this, okay, or on your codes. Basically, these are the codes, okay. These are the codes will remain, but the files to which this will run are not here. If I run this thing now, it's going to give me error because there is no file here. So what I have to do is I just need to click here, okay, and then go and upload my file. Once I upload the right file with the right name, this code will work. I hope you understand.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So assuming I share this course with you and you run it, it's not going to run. It's going to give you error. Unless you get this data sets, which you can replace with any file you want. Okay. There are a lot of publicly available data sets like Kaggle and all those ones. So the first assignment is I would want us to, when you are done, you upload. I'm going to open that on the canvas. Let me write it here first. Right, so I can actually. So I'm actually going to paste this there. These codes, okay. My time. Okay. So the assignment is. Let me go back to this. Yes. So today is just something simple. Okay. So that is the assignment. Okay. So I'm actually going to upload this so as I did last week. So if you just do this assignment, so go and get your own data sets. So you can get data sets from what's data.gov. So you can get data sets from these places. There are a lot, but this is what came up with. Okay. So yeah, so we are done for today. Now let's move on to we are done with last week. We're actually going to start with what you're supposed to do this week. So okay. So let me share that. So we are now going to work with data. We have a data. How do we work with it? Let's start with pandas. Yeah. Do we have questions?
Yeah, please. Do you have the slides for the week 2?
Yeah, the week two is I just started. I'm not. We are not going to start with week two. So that's the slides you are viewing.
All right, thank you.
Okay, but then I'm just hoping it's not a lot, so we can go through some real quick, and then tomorrow too. I hope we can finish this thing. So now one thing that you normally work with is pandas and then NumPy. You get it? So now NumPy means numerical Python. Okay. It's more like a foundation for scientific computing in Python. So we import NumPy as NP. We import pandas as PD. So these ones are kind of some kind of basic terminologies. Okay. So now we are looking at NumPy arrays. So the core of NumPy arrays, for us to know the arrays, we use ND array. Okay. Which represents the number of dimensional array or n-dimensional infinity. Okay. So in the example here, assuming you've created a list called my list, which is equals to 105, and my array, which is np.array, my list. Okay. Once you print my array, you're expected to get an output of, as you are seeing there. And if you check for the type of my array, you see that it is numpy.narray. So if you, assuming you don't know that you've met this thing for the first time, my array is equals to np array my list. You want to know, oh, what is the type of this particular variable? You just print the what? The type, print type, and then you'll be able to know the kind of class of variable you are dealing with. So in this example, for instance, two working. Please, let's not get confused, okay? We are going to get a bit technical, but it's not difficult. We just need to consistently practice. I mean, as I said last week, I'm not teaching everything in Python because it's too big that we are still learning. So assuming you miss something that we didn't speak about, it doesn't mean it's just because probably there are too much information that can't be consumed within this short time. I hope you understand. So I will encourage everyone to learn beyond what we are doing here. So I hope that is clear.
Yes, please.
So import numpy as np, then my list is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we want to look at the array. So my array is equal to this thing. You know, that's why I like this collab. It just, because of this AI, it just predicts what you want to do next. So type my array. Let me comment this thing. Okay, so now my list is this, my array is that. Okay. If Let me comment this before we look at the type. So once I run this, I'm now going to connect to the server. Hold on, please. Okay, so once I run this, you see the outputs. Okay, you see the output. Someone will ask, assume, let's look at something, guys, please. Maybe print my list. Okay, I want us to see if there will be some difference there. Okay, so it's giving us the same thing. Okay, so you can see now, how do we check for the type of array? Because we've introduced NP. and you don't know, okay, will it be pandas, will it be numpy? So once you click, then you see the class of variable or class of object is what? And numpy.nd array. I mean, numpy.nd array. Okay. So that is how to check for classes there over there. So creating attributes. Now, shape. I'm introducing some things to shape. We can have two-dimensional data, three-dimensional data, and so forth and so on. So the shape will just give you the dimension. For instance, in this example, my array is equals to np.array, and then we have two types of sets or two types of list or whatever. The first one is 1 to 3, and the second one is 4 to 6. And now we want to know the shape or the dimension of the of the of, of whatever array that we've created. Okay. Now the output for this is going to be 2, 3 because we have 2 rows and 3 columns. So I'm going to explain that here to us for us to understand. So we have my underscore array mp array is equal to we have this let's say 1, 2, 3, and then we have this another 4, 5, 6. Okay, I want to print this, and then before I print my array underscore shape. So the first one, we can see that this is 2 by 2 matrix. I hope you understand if you've done matrices. Okay. So, but then we know that 2 rows, one first row and second row. However, we have 3 columns. You can see first column 1 and 4, second column 2 and 5, third column 3 and 6. So once I run this, the 2, 3 rows, 2 rows, 3 columns. Is that clear? Assume I add this, let's say 7, 8, 9. Please, do you understand? We are going to get 3 by 3, 3 rows, 3 columns. Please, is it clear?
Yes,
please.
please.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Are we making progress, or am I confusing us the more?
No, please.
Oh, please feel free. I mean, if you don't understand, you just let me know.
The last bit, I don't understand.
Which one? The shape.
Yes, please.
Why don't you? Is it okay? So let me just go over. So in this example, before I introduce this thing, I'm kind of let me clear this one. We have the reason why I want I introduce this bracket because it's by default this one. And I'm introducing this square bracket because I'm going to have 2 different lists put together, which is going to be like a matrix. Okay. So now we want to know the shape or the dimension. When we say shape, it means the dimension. Is it a 2D, 3D? You get it. So we have 2 items, basically something like rows. I hope you know rows and columns. I don't know. Let me open the Excel here. So this one, please can you see my Excel sheet?
Yes.
I mean, what are the rows? Can you let me know the rows? Rows starts with numbers, okay? And then the column starts with the alphabets. I hope you understand. So this is a column, and this is a row, this is a row. I hope you get it. So the example that we are looking at, we have, let's say, 1, 2, 3. And then we have 4, 5, 6. So we have 2 rows, 1, 2, and we have 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. Please, is that okay?
Yes, please.
So that is it. Okay. And we move on to D type. Okay, so the D type returns the type of elements in the array. Are they integers? Are they floats? Are they whatever it is? Okay. And then the name name returns the number of dimensions. Are they 2D? Are they 3D? And the size represents the total number of elements. So let's look at all these things. So the first one is, yeah, I forgot now. Oh, so the first one is D type and then name and then size. So maybe print my dot D type. Okay. So this one is in 64. Depending on your system, if your system is designed on 32 bits, it will be in 32. So if you don't get 64 and you get 32, doesn't mean you are doing anything bad. It's the same thing. And then over here too, we have my array name. So this one is 2-dimension because it's basically X and Y. You get me? The dimension. Let's look at the dimension, what they said again. So the number of dimensions in your sets. Assuming, let's look at this. Someone will ask, okay, so now, assuming maybe this one was 7, 8, 9. How would it have been? Yeah, this thing will still be the same. It's true, because it's just X and Y that we are dealing with. Okay. And then the last one is size. Size is for us to know the total number of elements in our data set. So over here it's 9 because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 items stored here. So the size is just for us to know the total number of elements in the array. Please, is that okay?
Yes, please.
And now we are back to slicing again. As I mentioned, this one I'm just going to explain because we did it in the list. Okay, so 0 will give us the first element, which is 10. And now if you want to do 1 to 4, it's going to start from 1. Okay, index 1, which is 20, index 2, which is 30, index 3, which is 40. Remember, I mentioned that when we are indexing, when you are slicing or indexing, it is n minus 1. So 1 to 4, basically, is going to start from 1, index 1, and end at index 3. Do you get it? Okay, so 20. So yes, so this 10 is index 0, 20 is index 1, 30 is index 2, 40 is index 3, 50 is index 4. However, in this example, it's going to start at 1 and end at 40 because this index 4 is not part of when we are slicing. And over here, once we omit the first one and we bring this ending, basically we are saying that we are starting from the starting point. So it will start from index 0 up to 3. So index 0, index 1 and 2 the same thing applies. If you see 3 minus 1, so it's going to end on index 2. Please, do we get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for multi-dimensional ones like this, like what we were looking at, 0, 0. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Hello, yeah, Victoria.
Please, under this one, the indexing and slicing, the last example, I don't understand.
Okay, sorry. So the last example, we are saying it's telling us that we are starting from index 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So it's going, and then we didn't bring any ending. So basically what it means is we are starting from index 3 till the end, to the last index. I hope you understand. So it's going to start from index 3, which is 40, and end here. In this case, it is ending on 50, so it is inclusive. Once you don't specify the ending is inclusive. I hope you understand.
Yes, please.
Okay. So for multidimensional ones, we bring two. So now, the reason why we bring two definitions here is because we are dealing with rows and columns. I hope you understand. So here, 0, 0 means that the output will be 0, row 0, and column 0. Okay. So we are going to get what? 1, because when we look at this one, let's check this one, and then I'll use Excel to explain. Maybe sense. No, array. No, I don't want by size. I just want my snap color from the shape. Oh, it is. Oh. 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 1. Okay. 1. The reason why it's giving us 1 is, let's go back to Excel. So remember I said this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. Okay. So here, so it is starting from here. Here is 0. So this at this same place, it is column 0, row 0. I hope you understand. Please, do we get it? At this same place where I've shaded, it is column 0, row 0. Please, do we understand?
Yes, sir.
No,
That is
please.
why we are getting, you don't get it, sorry.
Yes, please.
So we have index 0, 1, 2 in that order. But the reason why in that particular one we are getting the output to be 1 is because at this place, the index is
Yes,
0
please.
here. Okay, the index is 0.
Okay.
So 0, 1, 2. So here it is column 0, row 0. You
Okay.
get it?
Column
That
0.
is why we are getting the output to be 1.
Column.
Is that clear, please?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, and here we are looking at 1, and then the output, it doesn't see anything, or the other one is not defined. So the output is giving us 4, 5, 6, because all the elements are in row 1. So we didn't define the column, but we defined the row. Okay? So back to my Excel. That one, assuming we have, we didn't define the column, we defined the row. So we said that this is row 0, row 1, okay? But we didn't define the column. This is 0, 1, 2. And we said that only row 1. So it is going to print out the values in this row. I hope you understand. That is why we had 4, 5, 6. And in the same vein, we didn't define the row in the third example, we didn't define the row, but we defined the column, which is column 2. So now, back to my Excel, it's printed 369. Okay, so back to my Excel. We didn't define the row, but we defined the column, so column 2. So you're going to print this, all the values in column 2. Please, is that clear? That is why over here we had 369. Please, is that clear?
Yes, please.
And
No, sir.
now, okay, please, what is not clear? So did you understand the row example?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are just doing the opposites. So now, if you understood the row example, we were defining row 1. So the output gave us all these. And in the other example, we are looking at just the column. We don't want the row, we just want column 2. So it means that it's going to give us the output of everything in column 2. I hope you get it.
Yes, sir. But
Okay.
I can't. Okay.
You can't do what, please?
I can see it now.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, in the next 4 minutes, I'm going to end it. So that's the last example, print my array. See, this one is defined such that we have the first, previously the column comes before the comma, but over here there is a column with a defined something, then a comma, then something is defined and there is a column. And the output is giving us what 2, 3, 5, 6. So basically that is before the comma, any definition has to do with the row. Okay, if you see this before the comma, anything has to do with the row. And then after the comma, anything has to do with the column. So now basically we are saying that we are not defining the, what do we call? We are not in the row, we are not defining the first item. We just want to what do we call? We just want the first two rows here. We just want the first two rows. Over here we want to specify over here that this is the column. Okay, so the column we want to start with the first column, and then wherever it ends there. So now let's look at, I'm just trying to, let me get these codes coming and let's run the specific codes. Kindly hold on for me. Oh, click on this. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm coming. Let me get that code and then let's run it. I okay. Please, can you see my slides?
No, please.
Yes.
Okay, can you see the collab app open?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
So now, let me run this. So over here, let me comment all these and focus on the last one. So over here, the output is 5, 6. So we are running the first two rows, okay, which is this. and then the columns, first two rows and columns. So for the columns, we are starting from index 1 onwards. So let's go back to Excel. Maybe Excel will help us understand. So the first one is we are running the first two rows, okay? However, we are starting from index 1. Basically, that is what this is saying. So we are running the first two rows. However, we are starting from the column index 1. And if you look at the example we are looking at here in Excel, the first two rows may say this and this. I hope you understand. But because we introduce indexing from 1, it means that it will be these people starting from index 1. So it will be 2, 3, and the columns to, you get it. So first two rows starting from for the columns starting from this one. So this and this. I don't know if it is clear. Hello.
So does that index 1 means, Reverend, does it represent the column, sir?
Which one, please?
Index.
Yes. So if you come here, the comments here. So over here, so it's saying that we are running the first two rows for the columns from index 1 onwards. You get it? So we are focusing on just the first two rows, but however, we are just starting, our starting point is just the index 1. We are running first two, but we are starting from index 1. Ideally, first two would have been this. You get it? But however, since we said we are starting from this column, so the first two from index 1 is this and this. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think my time is up. And tomorrow, please, let's join on time. Let's join on time so that we really have a lot to do. We really
Sir,
have a
we
lot
have
to do.
we have been really on since the beginning, but I think the admin had an issue at his end, so we were delayed at the common
No,
room there.
so this is once he opens the breakup, you get a notification. So you
He didn't
just need to join.
he was just adding us one by one, sir.
Yeah,
Were
I'm
you
not
in the
all,
waiting room or which one are you talking about?
not all of us had the notification, and when he was trying to manually add us to the faith group, I think there was a little bit of hitches with his network, so it took
Oh,
quite a while for the access.
sorry.
For the breakout room